Welcome, everyone. Once again, it's baddestchaplain.com. Chris Burton here, your host, the baddest chaplain on the globe. Hoping all is well with you and yours. Today is a very, very special interview, very fun conversation with my good friend, Erin Hamilton. We're going to be talking about how you can take business and service to the world and put them together. Erin is a cause entrepreneur. She is so thrilled to be able to turn her passion for sharing wine and fundraising for nonprofits into a business with one hope. Erin helps people discover new favorites and also give back to causes that are near and dear to their heart. So, Erin, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for being here. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, was this something that you always sort of knew you were going to do, or was it one of those journeys where you sort of along the way realized, you know what, this is it. I really like this.
Yeah, no, I never dreamed that this would be my journey. But I was teaching and I was very unhappy, just very unfulfilled.
Yeah.
I also needed more money because I wasn't making enough.
Right.
So I was bartending weddings actually. And I am divorced with now remarried, but I have two girls. And so they split time with me and my ex-husband.
Got you.
So it was really hard to bartend weddings on Saturdays because I had the girls on Saturdays.
Right.
So I needed to find something that would work in my schedule. And I just randomly came across a Facebook or Instagram ad about One Hope. And I was like, oh, this looks fun. Like, I like having fun with my girlfriends. I like drinking wine. And I really missed the give back.
Yeah.
Being able to like make a difference in my community. I was, at a really low point in my life at that point. And
For sure.
so it was nice to be able to give back, but not necessarily from my own pocket because I didn't have the money to do it, but like help others do it, just reframing their wine spend.
And the thing I like about it is that wine is something that people enjoy, and it's such a sort of, in my estimation, a wide landscape. Like, people like a variety of wines. So you're catching a whole swath of people who may not like the same thing, but sort of in the same sort of category of it. So what was it for you that made you say, in the spite of, and you talked about like all those like challenges you faced and all the changes you had going on, what made service so important for you? Because I find that, not only commendable, but fascinating. A lot of people, whenever they're going through difficult times, they may say, I need to do me right now. Like, why was it that service was a part of your sort of like redefining yourself?
That's always been a part of who I am and who I've been. I was raised in the church and it's always, I have a strong faith. So that's never faltered. But when I'm happiest is when I'm helping others.
Yeah.
And so, at one of the events I was at, somebody told me a story about going to, I think it was Colombia actually, and they were up in the mountains and they were doing a hike and they found a little girl and they didn't speak the language, but the little girl saw the pen that this woman had and she was like, I want the pen, but they couldn't, communicate.
Yeah.
So, basically the story was that like the woman gave the little girl her pen and she was elated. Her face was just completely, glorified of like, I just got this pen and it's amazing. It's beautiful. And it just stuck with me because it's like, we have so much.
Right.
And so many other places don't have anything.
Yeah.
And so, just having a pen was so special for this little child. So, in One Hope as a company does so many different give backs, not just with like the wine that people buy, but they also go out. And in October, they went to a village in Colombia and helped give power, solar power to a remote village.
Okay.
That didn't have power. It's 2022, 2023 now.
Yeah.
They didn't have power at all. So now this little tiny village is able to have a refrigerator. They're able to power like iPads for their schools.
Right.
It's just little things like that, really make me feel so great to be part of this company.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, no, that's incredible work. You know, when you talk about uh the sort of like resources and equities on the globe, a lot of
Yeah,
people, especially in the Western world, like United States, North America, would be surprised at like things that we take for granted that are really luxury items in a lot of places in the world still. So I,
most
I I
definitely.
definitely hear what you're saying. What do you say to folks who may look at it sort of curious when they don't really think that like wine pairs well with service? Like they're like, oh, what, doesn't it seem kind of like what are we doing selling wine? Like it's almost like a Girl Scouts for adults or something. Like what are they? What
I
do you?
mean,
Yeah, what do they say to folks like that?
I do get that. Well, there's two different ends to that. There's, the very biblically based that are like, "Oh, I don't drink because the
Right.
Bible says not to."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, "Well, I understand that if that's your choice, that is 100% okay and that's fine."
Uh-huh.
But there wine is in the Bible
Yeah.
and Jesus drank wine. It
First
was part of their
miracle.
community. And exactly, he turned water into wine and he saved the best for last. So
Right, right, right.
it's, God tells us not to get belligerent, not to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
drunk. But
Right.
we are allowed as Christians to drink wine and enjoy it.
Yes.
And, just rephrasing our thinking, I think is the biggest thing. And if somebody is completely against it, then, that's fine. That's their choice. I'm not going to change
Yeah.
their ideas.
100%. No, I love that you talk about it. It makes me laugh because I'm thinking about like our conversation. We're like, what's your opinion on alcohol? I was like, oh man, this is a huge conversation we're about to have right now.
Right?
But but I was like, okay, let's really get ready to unpack this. But I think it's such an important distinction that you're making. You know, the Bible does not speak against intaking of alcohol in and of itself, right? The only folks in scripture I can think of who like were not allowed to imbibe at all were like the Nazarenes, like Samson, like they couldn't even have grapes. But in terms of what scripture says, especially looking at like the book of Titus and the book of, I want to say, First Timothy at least, it talks about, especially when you're looking at leadership in churches, against drunkenness, and just
Hmm.
thinking about that. Because so I say that to say that I think a lot of the conversation has to be about moderation, which is where I think people don't necessarily,
And self-control.
and self-control,
That's a
right?
huge thing.
A massive part of it, right? So because it's like either you're going 0 or you're going 60. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like that, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I very much think moderation is key, and you can enjoy yourself, but don't overdo it. That's all we're
Exactly.
talking about.
And most of our bottles have twist tops, so it leads for your moderation.
There you go.
Just screw it back on and put it back in the fridge.
You don't have to use the whole, oh, I have to finish it, it's gonna go bad. You can save it for later. I
Exactly, yeah.
love that. I
And
love
it's
that.
actually better for the environment, so you're not chopping down the cork trees to make the
Okay.
cork.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and it's recyclable. So,
Look at this. Look at this.
yeah,
Saving the planet and your
exactly.
own self-control. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So Erin, talk to me about growing up. Who or what was an inspiration for you, and thinking, especially with where you are in your profession, like look back at either people you knew or just sort of saw in the world. Who would you say like, I borrowed something from them, and that's why I am where I am right now?
That's deep.
Yeah,
So my dad is
yeah.
my biggest inspiration. He actually passed away last January, so
Got
that's
you.
been
Got
really
you.
tough too. But
Condolences. Yeah.
he was an entrepreneur my whole
Uh huh.
life. I mean, middle school, he quit his full-time job and, he just showed me what is possible.
Hmm.
Being an entrepreneur and working hard and dedicating your life to something that is important to you. So
Yeah.
it's definitely been a big role model.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My condolences, definitely.
Thank you.
Of course. Of course. I want you to talk with me about a time in your life. It can be recently or it can be thinking about back in the days where you felt a deep sense of gratitude or even just a sense of awe. Like, wow, this is really happening. Like, what moments in life drew you towards gratitude or being in awe?
Oh, I gotta think about that. I think one time was when I went on a missions trip with my church. I was 18 years old, like fresh out of high school.
Hmm.
Um, and we actually went to New Orleans to help rebuild after Katrina.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Katrina hit in August of 2005.
Right, right, right.
Um, so this was actually in June, I believe, 2006. No,
Okay.
2000. Maybe it hit.
Yeah, because it
Maybe it
definitely
was.
hit '05. It hit
Yeah.
'05.
Okay. So then it was 2006. So I was
Okay.
a year out of college or
Uh-huh.
out of high school. But yeah. So we went down. So it was like almost a whole year before, that we were still there, like tearing out, flooded houses, like
Yeah.
places hadn't been touched yet.
Right.
It's just we were staying at a school. It was Chalmette Middle School, I believe, and
Uh-huh.
walls, just whole walls of the building were just completely gone. Um, and we were sleeping at this school, and like, I mean, it had a
Come
fence around
on.
it, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
but
safe, but
still.
like,
Right, right.
it was insane, and just to see
Yeah.
the devastation and to see how much it was still devastated, that was
Right.
a big eye-opening experience to me of like, wow, like these people lost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it showed me how easy it is to lose things, but then how grateful we just have to be, for what we have and what we have, at the time. So,
No doubt about it. I went down to New Orleans that summer as well, summer 2006. And
uh,
what you're saying is completely resonant with what I saw too. Because it, in my mind, I don't know. I think for me, as a New Yorker, I was always comparing just the devastation of Katrina to like what I went through with 9/11.
oh wow,
And
yeah,
so I remember the real big difference being that like with 9/11, it was like one part of the city, like Lower Manhattan. The winds took the like smoke to like the outer boroughs, but like most of the devastation and the sort of like you can't use this building anymore was really confined to one part of the city.
yeah,
Versus with New Orleans, not only did it shared the same sense of depressed feel of the whole city that New York had, but then you
hmm
also just saw like widespread devastation. Like I'll never forget being in the lower Ninth Ward and seeing steps that led to no house because the house had been washed away and those like cement steps remained. And it was such an arresting image to see in real life that,
hmm
my goodness, to your point, home is home, right? And people's homes are gone forever.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I never felt I felt it then, but until I went through Irma and
Yeah.
experienced like
Right.
my house being in the center of that hurricane, and yeah, I was gone at the time, but like the stress of not knowing what you're coming back to,
Yeah.
where it's hitting, what's going on. I mean, you don't, nobody understands it until you actually are forced into it or put in that situation. So until then, I really learned like, you never truly know how someone feels or what they're going through
Mhm.
because you've never been in their shoes.
Right. Think about how powerful that is for like a world where empathy feels in short supply, right? Like people
Mhm.
don't really want to do the whole mental exercise you're describing of saying, "Oh, I've never been in your shoes." Like people, it's so easy to just sort of make a quick snap decision on like, I see you, so I'm gonna assume what you think, what you believe, what you care about. And they don't even have the whole picture. Or you say one thing and they just run with that. So like how do you sort of maintain your own sense of this posture of empathy in a world that doesn't really seem to want to have a lot of empathy right now?
It's tough. I mean, I think as we get older, our experiences really shape who we become. And we just have to help the younger generation as much as we can to understand it and continue to have that empathy and the
Yeah,
knowledge.
get you. Get you. Nah, that's really it. It really is. So outside of your work, how do you like to spend your time? Like, what's something that you find really invigorates you? Something that really allows you to kind of feel joyful?
I love to work out.
Okay.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
I actually back in 2013, so 10 years ago, I started the first CrossFit in the Upper Keys.
What? Okay.
And now I'm selling wine.
Listen,
So
entrepreneur. I hear it. I respect
yeah.
it. That is cool. That is cool. Do you now? Let me ask you this: how does wine pair with an active lifestyle? Like, what have you found? Is it something where you're able to like enjoy it better? Like, has it affected like the taste of the wine? Like being active. Like, is there any sort of correlation? Is there any way that they pair with each other?
Well, if you drink too much wine, you definitely don't exercise as well. I will say that.
That makes sense. That makes
Uh,
sense.
but it is nice at the end of the day to just have a glass and just relax.
Yeah.
Let your body ease its tensions and just enjoy the flavors.
Yeah.
That's what I like about wine so much, is that it's so deep and just there's so many different kinds that it's, I guess, complex is what I want to say.
Yeah.
That, it's not just a tequila or a vodka. Not that those
Right.
are bad or anything, but like
No shots.
you are enjoying it because you enjoy it. And
Right.
it's not just the end all to just get drunk. It's just like, it has so many complexities that can pair with things, or just, sit on the boat and drink a glass of wine.
Exactly. Now that sounds very Floridian. You said sit on a boat.
Funny thing is, I don't even own a boat. So, but yes,
I'm
I
with you.
need
I'm
to
with
get one
you.
of those.
I get right. I hear you. I hear you. That's funny. That's funny. What would you say you find to be your hope for the world in this moment? You know, like as you consider it all, whether it's like locally or just thinking about the world at large. Like what is your hope for it?
I just hope that people start really listening to people again, and
Mhm.
trying to understand where people are coming from,
Yeah.
instead of just making those assumptions and just, or just hearing one thing and just writing somebody off. I
Hmm.
think that we need to get back to communication in an open sense, that we're able to discuss ideas instead of attacking each other, that our ideologies aren't so black and white.
Yeah. Exactly. Just being able to sort of live. I think of it in this way, Erin, like being able to live in the complexity of life with each other while maintaining respect for each other's dignity,
Yep.
right? Because it can't be something where I think something that's actually dangerous for you. I'm like, I need you to respect this dangerous idea I have about you. Like, that doesn't work either.
No.
It has to be something where we recognize everyone has a right to like thrive as a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'm so excited that you've graciously offered, and this is really what inspired this conversation to keep maturing is, you've graciously offered to partner with my work in raising awareness for lupus, and being able to have a page. As many of the listeners here know, I am in full mode of walk to end lupus mode, I should say, trying to raise funds for our big walk here in Richmond, Virginia, for the walk to end lupus. And as a partner in that, Erin has graciously provided us a link that you will be able to see in the episode notes, where when you purchase wine from that link, a portion of those funds goes towards the Lupus Foundation of America, which is really, really exciting. Organization near and dear to my heart. And One Hope, I can't say enough good things. This is a really awesome way to, not only spread awareness, but also allow people to have a good time while they're doing a good thing. Now, Erin, I ask you this: if people are listening to that and they have causes that are near and dear to their hearts, how can they sort of get in contact with One Hope so that they're able to do the same thing for their cause?
Yeah, definitely. So, if they click your link, that will give them my information too.
Mm-hmm.
So we can set up, online parties for any cause. Um, Also, if someone's interested in making money or making a bigger impact, they can join my team and be a cause entrepreneur with me. I love being able to have people all over the country because I can't be everywhere.
Right.
So it's awesome to be able to have other people on my team that I get to support and help change their life as well.
No doubt.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways to give and to get involved.
All right, that sounds
So,
great. That sounds great. Yeah, so
yeah,
please make sure when you hear this episode, you click the link in the podcast notes, and you'll be able to not only purchase wine to help our cause to help end lupus, but also get onto your own cause entrepreneurial lifestyle as well. So that's going to be really, really fun.
definitely. And we are the only Napa Valley Wine Club that gives back.
All right.
Sorry. Hey.
It's all
So
good.
our wine club is free to join. You get free shipping, and you can choose 4, 6, or 12 bottles. You can choose if you want it every month, every 2 months, or every 3 months. You can mix and match each time. Or we have a curated wine club that our winemaker, Mari Wells Coyle, who is fantastic. She picks 4 and 6 bottles every quarter. So if you are very adventurous and you just want to say, hey, send me this many bottles, I don't care what it is, I just want to try it. That's the way to do it too. So
that's cool. Do you find a lot of people are adventurous like that, or they kind of say, I know what I like a dry wine, just give me a dry wine, that's it? Like, where do you find people to be?
I have both. I actually had one customer that has both wine clubs. So she's like, I really want to just like be adventurous and get stuff because I won't try it if I don't just give it or get it. But she's like, but I also really want these wines because I really love these wines.
Those are her jams, right.
So yeah, we have her on like her build your own every 2 months, and then her curated wine club every 3 months. And then there's a month in between that she's not getting wine, but that's kind of overlap.
Yeah, she's pacing it out.
Yeah. So it's really cool to be able to do it. Most people, I think, do the build your own because they like to pick what they want. But it is nice that you can change the bottles every time. You get a free gift on your second order, and you really only have to get 2 orders and you can cancel.
Okay.
But, you're not locked into some membership or long-time subscription or anything. But yeah,
no gotchas.
If your wine is coming to your house instead of you having to go to the store and get in traffic or, whatever, it's a lot easier and more convenient, and then it's doing good for the world.
Yeah. We said it was recyclable earlier. Come on. Checks actually, a lot of boxes.
You should, all the stuff that our company does that is very economically mindful is insane. Like the glass they pick, most of it's recycled glass. The boxes it comes in, a lot of it's recycled materials, and you can actually use the bottom where the bottles sit as planters. So if you're planting new plants, they're perfect and they'll like disintegrate.
Come on.
So yeah, it's really cool.
I'm waiting for you to tell me the boxes can be converted to solar panels or something.
Ooh, that's the next one. Get on that next.
That's the next project. Yeah. So Erin, imagine you are hosting a dinner and you can invite 4 guests. They can be dead or living, fictional or real people. Erin, who are you bringing to dinner, and what wine are you ordering for the table?
Oh my gosh. Okay. 4 people. I'm gonna go with Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Michelle Obama.
Okay.
My father.
Yeah, no doubt.
And oh gosh. 4th person. There's so many to choose from. I'm gonna go with Melinda Gates.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then would probably serve our Napa Valley Reserve Cabernet.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Now, for the uninformed and uninitiated, what's so special about that Napa Valley Reserve Cabernet?
It's just a beautifully made Cabernet. It's got all the right notes, the complexity. It's smooth. It just feels like it's just a great, great glass of Cabernet.
Mm-hmm. A balanced wine for a balanced dinner group.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
I had it the other night with filet mignon for Mother's Day.
Okay.
So
That's it. Oh, the filet mignon for Mother's Day. That's all right. That's all right. I gotta tell you, I stopped eating meat 4 years ago.
Oh yeah.
But the last steak I had was when we lived in Brooklyn, and my neighbor was this French brother that worked at a restaurant, and he invited my wife and I upstairs, and he made us a steak in his apartment, but it was just the perfect steak. It just all he used was like butter and like maybe a pinch of salt, and he just hooked that thing up. He paired it with wine, and I said that year, it was 2019. I was like, I'm not gonna eat meat anymore in a few months. Like, I've been like weaning myself off. But I said, this is gonna be the last steak because this is the best one. I can't go from there to like a chain restaurant I won't mention because I don't want to offend the sponsors. But you know what I mean? Like we just. I said, this is the last one I'm gonna go out on. So filet mignon on Mother's Day it's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, anything else that comes to your thoughts in terms of like the best way? We have the link, but like, what is something that people can really sort of be anticipating or looking forward to with One Hope that they should get accustomed to or be on the lookout for?
Another thing that's really special about One Hope is our gifting department.
Mm-hmm.
So we have shimmer bottles that are patented just for our company.
Okay.
And they can be custom etched. Sorry, my dogs see a cat outside.
It's all good.
They can be custom etched. So if you're like a realtor or you're getting married, you can put your logo on them.
Right.
And if I had one available, I would show you, but it's over there. So
okay.
We also have boxes that are wood boxes, and you can custom etch those and have a bottle of wine put in it. So, for my wedding, I had a friend gift me a box that said congratulations, and it had our wedding date and bottle of champagne in there. We have new custom labels for our Cabernet, our Chardonnay, and then our mini brutes. So if you're doing any kind of parties. So we have so many different things. We have gift boxes that have different gifts in them, fun to give. So they've really gone over and beyond of what you think just normal wine would be.
Exactly. Sounds like a lot of attention to the details.
Oh yeah,
I'm here for it.
All of them, even the labels, all the labels. We have a new line out called Her Story.
And
it's just promoting, female power, basically.
Get you.
And it's all from Italy, all the wines. But the labels they were custom hand drawn, and different ethnicities of women on them.
Okay.
So it's really neat.
That's it. That's really cool. So you can definitely, and you can order the Her Story through the different links, right? Like, so when people are buying the wine to help support the Walk to End Lupus, they could buy some Her Story wine.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
I just sold a bunch of it at my wine party earlier today.
Oh, good stuff. Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
It is delicious wine.
Listen. So if you haven't already, please make sure you click that link in the podcast notes to get you some of this great wine from One Hope and support Erin and other cause entrepreneurs, but also support a lot of great causes. Maybe a cause that entertains dogs. I don't know. There's other causes out there. I'm surprised my dog has been real cool during this too, because usually he goes ballistic over nothing. So it had to be somebody.
Yes.
Indeed. But thank y'all so much for listening. And as always, rock with us on Instagram at Baddest Chaplain, TikTok the same at Baddest Chaplain, on Twitter, and our website, baddestchaplain.com. And make sure that wherever you're listening to this, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or whatever podcast provider you use, go ahead and give us a good rating, right? 5 stars, a like. If you can put comments, We'd love to hear from you. On Facebook at Baddest Chaplain too. So we're in a bunch of spaces trying to do good work, trying to elevate great stories. So thank you so much for rocking with us. Thank you for supporting. Much love. God bless. Talk to you soon. Peace.